The studio lights were dim, but the heat coming off Jim Cornette was anything but cold. Bryan Last had barely finished his intro when Cornette slammed his Diet Coke down like a timekeeper ringing the bell. Gunther versus Jey Uso? That was Raw's main event, and I don't know whether to applaud or scream into a pillow. Cornette leaned in, voice rising with every syllable. You got the ring general, Walter to the real ones, and one of the most emotionally layered baby faces WWE's had in a decade, and somehow this company still almost screwed it up. Bryan chuckled nervously. So you saw potential? Cornette's eyes lit up like a man staring down a crooked referee. Potential? Brother, this had the making of a classic, but WWE booking works like a broken GPS. Even when you're on the right road, it'll still try to reroute you through garbage alley. The tone shifts. Cornette straightens his papers, now dissecting Gunther like a general briefing troops before war. Let me tell you something, Bryan. Gunther is special, a throwback. He don't do flips. He don't cut goofy promos. He don't need 47 entrance lights. He walks down to that ring like a man coming to fight. Jim recounts Gunther's work in NXT UK, his reign of terror as Intercontinental Champion, and how fans responded to actual violence in the ring. He chops a guy, and you feel it through the camera. That ain't gimmick, it's craft. Gunther's the last of a dying breed, a monster that earned his aura. Bryan, so you think he carried this match? Cornette doesn't hesitate. He anchored it, like Andre in his prime, but with the pace of Bret Hart. That's rare, Bryan. Rarer than Vince admitting he booked something wrong. Cornette pivots now, his voice lowering, more contemplative. Now let's talk about Jey Uso. Because I'll be damned, the man made me feel something. He pauses. You know I don't go for melodrama, but this guy, he's carrying generational trauma in every step to that ring. Jim recalls Jey's transformation over the last few years. From tag team actor Roman Reigns' reluctant sidekick, then full-blown breakout star. And now, main eventer against Gunther on Raw. It ain't just about titles, Bryan. It's about identity. Jey walks out there, and the crowd doesn't cheer for a gimmick. They cheer for a man who survived. A man who escaped. That's pro wrestling at its core. Bryan. And in the ring, Cornette's voice rises. He was on fire, from that first super kick to that flying splash. Jey worked like a man who had something to prove. And by God, I think he did. And then, the turn. Cornette sighs, his mood darker now. And then the finish happened. WWE did what WWE always does. They couldn't let it breathe. He slams the desk again. You had the fans, you had the momentum. You had two men painting a masterpiece. And then they dropped in the cheap twist. Bryan, you mean the distraction? Yes, the distraction. Some idiot ringside nonsense. Rollins' music hitting or a ref bump or whatever the hell it was. It took all that hard work and flushed it down the Stanford toilet. Jim's rage boils. When Gunther pins Jey clean, it should mean something. But no, we gotta protect everybody, water it all down, and throw in a SmackDown segment with Raw talent. He leans closer to the mic. It's like serving a 5-star meal and pouring ketchup all over it right before it hits the table. Cornette reflects, softer now. Don't get me wrong. This match shook Raw. It was physical. It was real. It mattered. He sips his drink. But if WWE don't learn from this, if they don't respect what these two just gave him, then they're not just wasting talent, they're insulting the fans. Bryan, so what would you do? Jim doesn't even blink. Rematch. Clean finish. SummerSlam. No distractions, no story time. Just wrestling. And then give Jey his due. Or let Gunther become what Lesnar should have been, undeniable. He finishes with a smirk. And maybe, I'll finally say Raw did something right. Cornette wraps up the episode with one of those moments that feels like more than wrestling. This ain't just a match, folks. It's a message. That pro wrestling still matters. That storytelling still lives in a chop, in a splash, in the eyes of a man who refuses to stay down. He looks into the camera. And if WWE's smart, they'll realize what they had tonight wasn't just content, it was connection. Fade out.